Hi everyone, this is your host Vatsal Shah again, and now it's my role to have a fireside chat with one of my friend Vikrant Shukla, and now I will be talking in a different sense. So let me introduce myself first. My name is Vatsal Shah. I am a CEO, coach, and business coach from India. What I do is I help companies grow from small to big, and this is my fourth consecutive Meet Magento Singapore. And every time I play a different role and enjoy interacting with all of you. With me my friend, brother Vikrant Shukla is there. He used to be a agency owner, and now he is acting as a cloud solution architect CSA in Adobe, and he is a recognized face. And he manages JPAC as a region and helping partners like Adobe partners and merchants grow online. Vikrant, can you introduce yourself?
Hi everyone. I think Vatsal, you have done 90% of my introduction already. So, so yeah, good to be again back in Meet Magento Singapore. I know this is virtual, but even though we are virtual since last 2 years, we still have been connected via different mediums. And just to add into that introduction, I'm father of 4 furry babies and one two-leg human baby, and also known by but the community loves me by the name of Super Mazeman. Always happy to help and support you guys.
Yep. Before we go ahead, let me tell an audience from India and from APAC that this is a fireside chat. So it is designed to be informal, and there is no presentation slides. And then all the opinions which we are going to make today is our personal, individual, and no company, Magento, Adobe association has nothing to do with it. So if you want to blame or you want to upload, it's purely ours and it's not personal to anyone. So that was an important introduction because we both are known to be, like straight from the heart, and then people love it the way we are. So we will keep it the same today, and we'll make sure that we don't let you down. So going to the today's topic, why we chose this topic together, as since long we were thinking about going to start a series called VS Talks because we both share initial same Vatsal Shah, Vikrant Shukla. And today we chose a topic because we feel that there is an era of confusion and chaos around. And what's going on is there is a lot of platforms are coming up. People are asking like which technology to go further. Even merchants are asking what is the right technology for them. And getting absolute clarity or finding a reason that what is right for me is becoming tough, and it is very, very subjective when it comes to decision making around technology. What do you say, Vikrant?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think this is a blessing in disguise because there are lots of platforms that have come across in last few years, and the merchants they certainly believe they rely on agencies, right? And this era of chaos is actually as you rightly said, it's more subjective when it comes to the selection of the platform. But today we in this talk, as you rightly said, this we designed to be more of a conversation so that we can try to demystify what different role, or let's say agencies or merchant or developer should be doing in this era, wherein it's an era of evolution. We are close to metaverse, right? And now the space travel is all happening as you travel in your car. Maybe few years from now you can travel in space by booking, if you have that much money, obviously you can you can travel in space, right? So yeah, this we are in era of evolution, and change is always chaotic, change is always hard to accept, and that is where we would try to talk today about how different agencies and developers and merchant can evolve or select the best platform for themselves in this era.
Yeah, Vikrant, what I have seen is in last decade is like we both love Magento since the inception. We say we love orange, but now it's turning red, as like your shoes. But the point is, when we look at decision making for the store owners, whether it is a B2B, whether it is B2C, D2C, or nowadays D2E, omni-channel, a lot of things coming up. So subjectivity coming into the picture. People are having their own preconceived idea which platform is good. People are now, like, the business owners are now, well read. They follow Gartner, Forrester. They see which is the new platform. So since last 5 years, I can see that people have a question: is this platform right for me or not? So gone are the days that agencies were suggesting platforms which they have in the bank as scale or the partnership. But now merchants are also having subjective opinions, looking at their size, number of SKUs, and I cannot discount agency's role or platform's role in deciding that, okay, which is the right one. Uh, what do you think? What is the role agency has to play here to bring more clarity in this case?
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, again, the reason for chaos is all these fancy words since last couple of years: headless, monolithic, and web services
Composable.
and composable. So I have a very good story about composable. One of my colleague from New Zealand, she got a merchant saying that, what is compostable commerce? I want to know more about compostable commerce. And we have that as a funny joke, internal joke, which I shared with you. So all of these words, because see, humans are always attracted towards, let's say, something new, right? They always want something new. And again, I bring in psychology because I try to observe and I speak about it a bit. Now, coming to the role of agencies, as you said, Vatsal, I think uh, before that, I would actually like to ask you, right? Maybe the role of I think the role of agency should come from you. You are the one who works more close
Yeah.
to that. And I have moved out from agency a couple of years back. So what actually you see as a parameters that agency should keep in mind while choosing the platform for their merchants?
So I think uh, we will discuss that more in detail, but in the second half of our talk today. But the point is, what I can see is agencies are uh, nowadays are also on a question that whether they go for orange, they should go for red, they should look at green in the background or the blue on the shirt. So there are a lot of options available for agencies as well, and I can see there are all colors on our screen today. Red, orange, blue, and green. So nowadays, I know these all are different platforms, and this has added a lot of fuel to the fire. And going into the serious note that it becomes very tough for agencies to do a capacity building for each of them and recommend right things to the customer, because sometimes customers are also picky about it. So I would say, if I used to do a job of business analyst, which is called solution specialist nowadays, I used to look at what client actually needs, and then based on that, their size, scale, SKU, workflows, I used to recommend what is right for them, because uh, sooner or later, client will get to know what is the right platform for them. And if we have given something wrong, we are going to end up losing client, losing LTV, and losing NPS for sure. So it's important that as an agency, we look at customer centric culture. And this has been talking since many years on my talks for the CEOs. So yeah, that is there. But this leads to an interesting question. What parameters merchant should keep in mind while choosing a tag? So being a CSA, you must be suggesting a lot of technology, composable commerce components. It is called assemble to order in a layman language, but yeah, it is fancy word is called composable commerce. So what are the parameters you recommend that merchant should keep in mind?
Yeah. So before I moved into this role of cloud solution architect, I was in the Adobe Consulting and I was working as a business solution architect.
तो
So
सारे पाप कर लिए एक ही दिन
yeah. So I was actually handling and I was working very closely with some of the likes of the Fortune 500 companies or a lot of customers to name a few. Right. So see, the first parameter that merchant should uh, keep in mind is their business requirement. Most of the time, what I have seen is that even a Fortune 500 company comes with a very fancy requirement, and the requirements are not freezed. The reason why I say this is that I, as a business owner, should know, or we as a company should know what our goal plan is, what is our target market, where do we want to go in next 3 years, at least if not 5 years, right? First year, second year, third year plan should be at least on paper, right? I know it's not writing on the stone; it will change. I have seen companies come and ask that they want a WMS system or a warehouse order management system out of Magento, because they heard someone say it that Magento can work as a WMS, or someone said that OMS can be, order management system can be done via Magento. So these are few of the things that the agency owners or let's say the merchants should be aware about. The second thing is that basis their requirement, they certainly need to work very closely with their partners, SIs, and do a comparative analysis amongst different platforms. Now, let me tell you an example. If a customer is looking at a B2B requirement, right? For example, if B2B and B2C are core part of a customer or a merchant, then obviously going to Adobe Commerce Cloud is the way forward, because that in that you actually get out of box B2B. But if you can still do that on open source, right? So you a merchant should be educated enough, or they should ask their SI to make them educated enough that what are the out of the box feature that could be checked off while selecting a platform. Then the highest number of out of the box feature that you can check off in a platform, be it red, blue, green, or XYZ, that is the platform you need to go with. Because as a merchant, your success is not only you should not just compare the licensing cost. There is always a cost, hidden cost, which is kind of the development cost, and then the regular maintenance cost. I'll call out an example. That I was working with one of the biggest publishing company globally, and yeah, it is one of the biggest, first three based out of India itself. And their SI were actually building a engine on React and Node, and using a lot of custom build so that the data transfer between the agencies agency's database and Magento could happen via that platform. So that can still be done out of box using RabbitMQ and few of the other configurations that are available in Adobe Commerce, right? So the short answer is the merchant should first be aware about their business plan. They should actually do a comparative analysis and do a check of what out of box feature I will get from platform A, platform B, platform C, platform D. If they can't do it, they should force their SIs to do that. And basis that, they should then go ahead and select the SI. Because sometimes what I have seen is, I as an SI, if I, and I'll be very honest and candid, I have run my own company 2015 to 2018. And sometime I did not have a native app developer. We were not an app development company. We were a hardcore Magento agency, but we were having people working on Ionic. So if a customer came to me and asked me for a native app, I would then smartly try to push them toward the Ionic, because I had Ionic resources. And I was at that moment of time, actually, see, as an SI, I have to make money, right? It's not charity. I have to run my business. So all of these things goes in mind. But as a merchant, you should be aware about these clauses, right? These star small letters that you see in the insurance lines.
I think this leads to a smartness and decision making at the merchants, and that they should hire e-commerce consultants who can tell them which is the right SI for them. And then because the rightly said, SI is supposed to survive, make money, and suggest the platform which they have. But I would look at it in a simpler way, that if you look at the economy structure of the world, there is the bottom of the pyramid, then there is MSMEs, then SMEs, SME plus, and the above. Similarly, you look at the platforms at the different stages. So if I am at the stage X, I should look at the relevant platform who comes at stage X, because at each stage you will find different platforms appealing to you, depending on the price point, also the features, also the integration capabilities. And I always recommend that not only platform, merchant store owners should also look at integration capability of that platform, whether it is suiting their legacy system or their marketing plan, because I would say tech is the 20%, 80% is marketing to grow online. So based on that, they should make a decision, not just looking at the platform features.
Absolutely. You asked about merchant. Now let me ask you the same question again. So how do you think, what are the parameters agencies should keep in mind while recommending the platform to the merchant, and how should they work in this time of evolution?
I would rather love to answer that how agencies should choose the technological platform to scale their company or bring next future. Because right now, I would say specifically in India, I get a lot of questions that what should be the next platform as a practice we should enter into.
Yeah.
So I can honestly say that I'm part of Magento Association committee as well, and I personally love orange and red. But at the same time, I can see that if you look at all the big partners of Adobe and Magento on their websites, and it's not my words, on their websites, you can see now multiple platforms. So instead of loving one, people have started choosing their next destination, and the agency owners has to start looking at from the capacity building point of view. So the era where you are or the region you are, the kind of resources you are able to grab or kind of technology advancement you can bring into your company, based on that you should select the platform. So I would say headless composable are the fancy words, but you should start looking at that as an agency. If you are serving SMEs or MSMEs, serving monolithic is fine. But if you are talking to the mid-scale or large-scale market, then you should think about headless, then composable, and so on. So this is the exact point I would recommend to the agency owners. That look at your target audience. Who are your customers? Know your customers well. In fancy words of digital marketing, it is called ICP. So look at your ideal customer profile, what they are looking for, and based on that, you select what is right. So if my customers are happy with open source and monolithic solution, hell with the composable. And if my clients are looking for the composable or the different front-end technologies or omni-channel solutions, then I don't have a choice except bringing new things. But one thing I can see, having one thing was blessings in last 10 years, but last couple of years it has changed. So now SIs, or I would say agencies, are supposed to add new platforms for sure, so that they can offer different things to the customer instead of losing them. So
Yeah.
answer your question wisely, right?
Yeah. I think you captured it very wise. Just to add into that, what I foresee is, as you rightly said, knowing your customer is very important. And then I totally believe that, and again, still into my day in day out job, I personally believe that you have to be lot of more consulting firm, wherein you should be openly suggesting your customer that, hey, Mr. X, what you are looking at today and what your plan for tomorrow and day after, you may find, let's say, solution X to be expensive right now, but down the line there is always a cost of migration, right? And there is always a cost of maintenance. You moving from one platform to another, it's always costly. And for SI, it's business. I have nothing against SI. We need all the partners, we need SI to deliver, because if we don't have the delivery people, it's very hard for any platform to scale and grow. Just one more point into what you said about agency choosing the right platform. Again, coming back to that point of checking off what is as you rightly said, knowing your customer, bottom layer, middle layer, and the top layer. And if you are the top layer, you would always want to work with the top layer game, so that you have all the big stacks that are ready to deliver for the customer. Perfect. I think delivery people are very important, Vatsal.
Right. So, and then one more thing, SIs are more tech focused, and it is not wrong. It is their by default DNA. So changing their DNA to customer centric and looking at the commerce centric thinking is sometimes a bit tough, because they are also having, battery means number of resource pool available for X technology, and shifting it becomes tough. But I think they should capture the right signals at right time. For example, in 2018 in Meet Magento India, your colleague from Adobe said that Adobe is going towards microservices, and the React would be or JS framework will be way to go. But I can still see that a lot of Magento SIs or agencies have not adopted different front-end technologies which is upcoming, and I can see that in coming future front-end developers are going to struggle for sure. People are looking for full stack developers. People are looking at new technologies coming in, as even they want to implement solution around Magento. So we actually plan to talk about SIs and the merchants, but let's include our friends who are developers, because if you look at in LinkedIn, in APAC region, search LinkedIn Navigator cannot find more than 52K, and the number is bigger than that. So let's have one input for our developer friends as well. So what developers should consider, say in 2021, so that they stay relevant in 23?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. So basically, I would just want to share my journey, maybe before I begin with that answer. So I started as a developer back in first as a QA. I come from electronics communication background, so I started as a QA. Then I went into Magento. Once Magento was in beta, was in November 2007, and then from there we started the journey as developer, and then graduated enough to be as a technical architect and so on and so forth. Hey, by the way, today or say yesterday, 17th November was the birthday of Magento 2. So it's now 6 years old kid, right? Anyways, so see, gradually our developers, as you rightly said, it's very important for the developer to keep learning and keep evolving. We sadly, or let's say by grace of God, if we look at COVID situation, I think it was grace of God. But the other side, which I'm going to say, we sadly have chosen a trait, just like lawyers, wherein you have to read every day. You cannot, I cannot say that, hey, I was a business solution architect or a technical architect for Magento 1, and I am a technical architect for Magento 2. That is not going to be. Or let's say I am a 7 years old Magento developer in Magento 1, or let's say even in Magento 2, and then all of a sudden I say that, hey, I know everything in Magento, right? And you called out a very important thing, and that the fine line between the front end developer and the back end developer, especially that we used to call in Magento world, is vanished. I would not say it's vanishing, it's vanished. I know merchants who actually, and I speak with merchants who actually come and ask us during my days in consulting that, hey, we need someone who understands both front end and back end, someone who can do both PWA and can also do the back end development work. Now, and the third important point is that there are a lot of technologies which are actually, if I talk about Adobe Commerce, there are a lot of technologies which are complementing Adobe Commerce, like View Storefront, right? There are a lot of website launched on View Storefront as a front end PWA. So it is very important for the developer, and I'm going to say that somewhere I feel lucky that I am not in this era doing development, and I have moved into more of a consulting role. Else, it's you are not going to survive. I'm sorry to say this, that in coming time, if I as a backend developer believe that, hey, I'm one of the best backend developer, why should I know about the front end React and front end technologies, and why should I worry about Adobe Sensei configurations, right? Or let's say, even why should I even worry about how the payment configuration is to be done in Magento backend? It's going to be tough, brother. We have to keep working. We have to keep evolving, and it's a day in, day out practice. It's not like any one of us will read a Bible or a Gita, which is not going to evolve over the period of time, right? It is kind of ever evolving story, just like life. So. And again, just wanted to add a few more lines. It just struck my mind. There were a few product announcements that you might have seen, that Adobe IO is coming in play. We are going more of a web services, and then there are there will be incremental updates for security and other things, right? Payment is going to come in. So the project Firefly project, right? App developer project, which is going to help you a lot. So it's very important that you come out and spend your time, because again, I remember myself saying this, then I remember my employees saying this, and I remember my few of my colleagues saying this, that, hey, we spend 8 hours a day in our day in day out work. I don't get time to read. So where do I study? So I'm sorry to say, we have to find out time, either sleep less, or don't go to spend your time on weekend to evolve yourself. You want to add something, Vatsal? Or
Yeah,
have I scared everyone a lot?
no, it's actually a scary time, and if people who are busy making money and then feel that, okay, right now we are scoring runs, but and the future is sustainable, so they are highly mistaken. So because the people who are relevant in 21, they have spent 3 years not adapting new technologies, and many of the agencies who have been good, I can see that nowadays they label themselves as laggards in adapting new technologies, which is React based or Vue Storefront or many new things coming in. So when I said I love green, I was talking about Vue Storefront. I hope you understood the same. Anyways, okay. So it's important for developers to adapt new things that's there. And if they are not able to do it, even the agencies are not able to do it, it's going to be a tough time for sure. Because and when you talk about TCO, total cost of ownership, so when I talk to startups or the business owners, they make plan for 5 years. So think about a manufacturing unit installing a machinery. So they don't look at ROI at first year, they look at 5 years. So similarly, when people look at digital commerce technologies, they don't look at 1 year utility, they look at long-term utility. Similarly, when you are investing in your career as agency or as a developer, you should look at a new technology stack coming in and going to evolve over a period of 2 years, 3 years. So may not be mature right now, but maturing soon. And it is a time that we adapt right things and focus towards assembling the right components, whether it is marketing tech or whether it is a commerce tech or integrations with ERP or PIM or anything. So it's important we keep agile, stay focused. So we have to look at two things. One, focusing what is current, so that we stay profitable. At the same time, we should look at the market, continuously sensing, so that we don't be clueless. That is the way forward. And I would say nowadays it's an era of merchants, like the buyers and the people who are developing. So the coders, both are shrinking the market, and agencies are in the soup. So it's a buyer's market and the seller's market. The sellers are the developers. If they stay agile and grow up, they are going to charge better. And the second time, buyers are going to be smarter, so they will choose the right technical stacks. So it's a time to gear up. That's what I would say right now.
Yeah, perfect. And just to let you know on the records, my world is not black and white. My world is orange and red.
Yeah, we still love orange as our code. And I think as we love talking, so I kept an alarm that, okay, I need to jump to the next session. So it was fun talking, Vikrant. It was unlike the conversation we did last week. It's more formal today, and then it was fun. I hope people got a lot of insights, and if you like we two talking together, please do stream on social media. You can see more episodes coming from VS Talks. Thank you.
Absolutely. And in case if you have any questions, feel free to reach us on LinkedIn or any other social platform. Take care.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, Vikrant. Bye-bye.